như hà liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đạc lạc tốc chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đan Thuở Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hờ Đi San Mèo San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tăng Đắc Tha Tô Già Đà Già La Hà Đế Tam Miệu Tam Bồ Đà Thoát. And the unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa mai qian wan jie nan zao yu. Wo jin jian wen de shou chi yuan jie ru lai zhe shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Jingliang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors of Emitofuo. Chư Phổ菩萨精良大士师父上人各位持家人各位善知识弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư và Thượng Thiện Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sư Thích Ca Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 17th, St. Patty's Day. Ooh, green beer everyone. Here in the U.S. it's St. Patrick's Day, so we drink green beer by our tradition. You don't? I mean, why you look at me like that? You don't drink green beer on St. Patty's Day? What has this America become? You guys are no fun. Never mind, I guess I have to side with you, siding with impurity and loftiness. Okay, thank you all for coming to our St. Patty's Day discussion of the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra, prepared by Great Master Jingliang. We are right now on slide 301 of door number 2, with the stores and teachings containing it. He's discussing to an overview of what the sutra is about and how you can classify the various teachings contained in here. It's endless. You can talk about it, you can go and dissect this forever. But he's kind of does it in a very elegant fashion, so it's kind of cool to look into it, okay? And maybe in a way show the scholars that they don't understand as much as they think they do, okay, about this sutra, about this prologue. Okay, 301. 3, because originally the sage's basic intention was for the sake of a single matter. 4, because with regard to each and every text, the multitudes of understandings are not the same.
3. 原圣本意为一事故。4. 随一一文众解不同故。
Okay, background information for you. He's talking about, when you take the Buddhist teaching, it can be, take it as a lump sum or take it as divided teachings. Okay, and he says that right now the argument is that why it should be taught together, should be undivided. And he gave 2 reasons already. This is reason number 3. He says, because originally the sage's basic intention for the sake of a single matter. This is a big deal for Buddhism, a humongous deal for Buddhism. This is contained in the perfect teaching in Buddhism, that perfect teaching in a Lotus Sutra. All Buddhists, most Buddhists, Mahayana practitioners, heard about the Lotus Sutra or Dharma Flower Sutra. That's when the Buddha, after talking round and round, finally he said, you should become Buddhas because you can. Why are you stopping yourself? And that's what it's called the perfect teaching. Buddha says, you. Yeah, I'm talking about you. Don't look at me or your neighbors. You. Each and every one of you, okay, can become Buddhas, will become Buddhas, as a matter of fact. Isn't that cool? God, the Koreans are so full. I don't know. I'm so sleepy. Okay, so the Buddha says in the Lotus Sutra, he says, I came here for one single matter, the most important matter in this world. Okay? The matter is the matter of birth and death. And it's funny today, during the Chan class, we talked about impermanence. And now we're talking about birth and death, the big matter, the great matter of birth and death. He says, I have this incredible secret that I want to share with you freely. Why is that? Why am I sharing with you? Because you forgot it's not my own. It's our collective knowledge. You know it. She knows it. He knows it too. Okay? I know it too. Not as well as the Buddha. Okay? But we all know it. And you are stopping yourself from realizing your fullest potential. You join the Marines because you're told, be all you can be, okay? But it's wrong, okay? You should join Mahayana boat, the division, where we will help you become all you can be truly. Doesn't matter who you are, man, woman, child, okay? Buddha taught even a dragon girl became enlightened. You heard of that famous story, right? Dragon girl, she became enlightened, just like that, in front of Shariputra. Okay? So he says, everyone can become enlightened. It's you who don't believe me. You find it to be too good to be true, like those scam investments, Ponzi schemes, pyramid schemes. Heard of them? I lost some money too. Okay? When you're poor and you can't help but be greedy. Okay? So he says, you have to believe me. This is for real. It's too good to be true. Yes. Okay? But it's true. The only catch is that in order to become like me, and all of you can, okay? He goes through the spiel for 50 years. So this is what you ought to do. And it turns out it's not as simple as it sounds. Okay? So what did he do? In the Lotus Sutra, he says, the Buddha came to our world. Okay? Remember, Buddha is the wisest man in this universe. He would never waste his time. Wise men never waste time. Unlike us. So he came to our world to do 4 things. To open, disclose, enlighten, and enter the knowledge and vision of the Buddha. He says, open, disclose, enlighten, and make you enter the vision and knowledge of the Buddhas. And I know many of you Buddhists have read this, have heard of it, have studied this. So, anyone have read the Lotus Sutra? Raise your hands, please. I know San Jose people have. Don't let me down, San Jose people. Just raise your hand. I won't ask you any questions. Liar. You have to be Asian. Asians, raise your hand. God, this is getting desperate. The Asians are like unmoving. Okay, how about Asians in Korea? Anyone have read the Lotus Sutra, have heard of it, have read it? I like Koreans, 3 of them, 4. No Sunims, no monks and nuns? Here too? In Lotus Sutra, it is, in that sutra, again, the sutra, and the Buddha says, you can become a Buddha. Don't sell yourself short. Don't let anyone tell you that you cannot become a Buddha. You can become a Buddha. Okay? So that is to open. What is to open? What is open?
Open?
Yeah, open. Open sesame.
Oh, open sesame.
Yeah, open. Open the door. What's open? Anyone? Those of you who have read the Lotus Sutra, who study the Lotus Sutra, who understand the Lotus Sutra, what does open mean? What does disclose mean? What does enlighten mean? What does enter the knowledge and vision mean? That is very important. That sutra is so important. Okay, that's the, thank you very much. You're distracting me. I'm talking about very, very important things. No time to talk about tea. Okay. You made a mess. Okay, anyone? What is open? I'm very neat and tidy. I'm going to Korea. I better learn to be very clean. The Koreans are crazy, you know. I was there the last time. You know what happened? A shocking thing. I was working in my room, and you know what? Someone knocked on my door and said, "Are you there?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You want me to go in and clean your room?" I said, "What? This is a motel or what? This is a temple. You don't clean my room. I like it messy." I haven't cleaned my house for 3 years until the Koreans came. Okay? And they clean. The Korean clean everything. One cleans and the next one comes, cleans the same place. That's why it's spick and span. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? It's a shocking thing. So that's why I'm preparing myself mentally. I have to be clean, keep my room clean, because who knows what happens when I'm not there, what they do to my room, you know. Anyway, so much stress and pressure. Okay, so what is open? Disclose. Why? What is going on here? Okay, anyone? Speak. What is to open? What is to disclose? It's beautiful. How come you don't appreciate it? I love it. When I read the Lotus Sutra as described by Master YongHua, I said, open, disclose, enlighten, and make enter the vision, knowledge of the Buddha. I said, wow, this is so beautiful. But I said, why open? Why disclose? And I sped up. I fast forwarded the tape to find an answer. I said, what is open? What is disclose? No one asked. So he never explained. Good Lord. I said, how? This is such an important thing and no one asked. The Buddha came to our world, Alex, and to do 4 things only. Open, disclose, enlighten, and make enter the Buddha's knowledge and vision. And I said, what is open? Why? What is disclose? What's the difference between open and disclose? What's the difference between enlightenment and enlighten, and make enter the knowledge and vision. Why? I'm asking all of you Buddhists in the world, please help me understand what it means. Doesn't it bother you? Why Buddha has made a big fuss? He came to our world, went through birth, and suffer a lot to do this. He says, I came to this world to do this one thing only: open, disclose, enlighten, and make you enter the vision and knowledge of the Buddhas. Every one of you. You too. You, everyone. He says, really? My little self? My insignificant self? Yeah, you too. That's why it's such a big deal. How come no one really explained? No one ever asked. So I'm asking you. No? Those of you who raise your hand and say, you read the Lotus Sutra. What does it mean? Old monk, the old monk, the ex-abbot of DTT, Dharma Treasury Temple, is an advocate of the Lotus Sutra. He says, I read it at least 20 times already, cover to cover. What does it mean? Yes, sir. Impress a young man who was next to you, who came back from Korea, and says, I know more about Buddhism than you Koreans. Yeah? Old monk, go ahead. Can't hear him. What is going on? Okay, while they're working on technical difficulties and challenges we all have. Anyone else? What is open? What is disclosed? What is going on? Yeah, now we can hear you. Go. Yeah, we can hear you. Stop beating into my ears.
Kinh Pháp Hoa khai Đức Phật khai thị cho mình biết mình có Phật tánh và xác nhận ra rằng mình sẽ thành Phật. Bằng chứng là long nữ là trẻ con 8 tuổi mà súc sanh, mà nữ nữa mà vẫn thành Phật. Đó Đức Phật xác nhận.
So I want you to answer me directly because the Americans, the new students are going to ask you this. What is open? Explain to me what open means. What is disclose means? Kai shi thi. Okay, what is thi in Vietnamese? What is wu? What is ru? You have to explain that specifically. So what is kai? What is to open? What is to disclose? Shi thi. What does it mean? Why? It's amazing. The Chinese, the disciple of Master Hsuan never asked this. It's weird. I know. If I didn't point it out to you, you all would gloss over this as well. Say, yeah, if they didn't ask, we know how to ask. No, that's not American. We Americans are entitled to ask anything that bothers us. No? I disagree. Look at, it's the wrong time to be polite. Go ahead. What's open? Old monk. What is?
Tức là khai cho mình biết là mình có cái Phật tánh. Cái giống như Phật rồi thị là mình tu để mình thấy cái đó, rồi ngộ tức là enlightenment, rồi tu cao hơn nữa là nhập vào cái đó. cuối cùng là sẽ thành Phật.
Okay.
Các
Translation.
cái bên Nam Tông là chỉ trừ phiền não và chỉ chứng A-la-hán thôi.
So Master Kai Open is to let us know that we have the Buddha nature just like the Buddha, and disclose meaning that allow us to cultivate so that we can see that Buddha nature, what it is, and ngộ, enlightenment is we get enlightened. And when we cultivate in higher, we will be able to enter that knowledge. And therefore, finally, we will become a Buddha, different from the Southern Hinayana tradition, is they only eliminate the affliction and certify to the position of Arhat.
Okay. Any questions about that? Let me ask you a question, an old monk. Does it mean that the Buddha never explained this to the Hinayana according to you? Because you said you to open is to tell everyone that you have a Buddha nature. Did the Buddha tell the Hinayana students that they have the Buddha nature?
Đức Phật có dạy, nhưng mà những cái người đó họ không có tin. Họ chỉ nghĩ là khả năng họ chỉ.
Where does the Buddha say that in the Hinayana or Agama store that you have a Buddha nature? Which sutra is that? Which sutta? Careful now. Can you give me a sutta where it says you have the Buddha nature in the Agama store, in the Hinayana store, the Pali store, anywhere that the Buddha says you have the Buddha nature? Come on, all of you. Give me a sutra name, a sutta name. Let's say so. Lotus Sutra says you have the Buddha nature. That's a fact. But give me a sutta in Pali canon. In the Agama store, it says you have the Buddha nature. That's my question. Yes, go for us.
Thank you, Master. I don't know, but I don't think he does, because I read something today on Instagram saying that about Buddha nature, and it says in Mahayana Buddhism. I was like, what? Only Mahayana?
Yeah. But then, does it mean that the Buddha never taught the Hinayana? So he says, I only teach you Mahayana students. Hinayana, forget it. You are, oh, not you, but you are, you Hinayana people. No. So the Buddha discriminates? Wow. Sound like Buddha has no compassion whatsoever. Anyone? You see, you think you understand. This is a danger of you reading all these sutras and all these things you think you understand. Okay, JMT, CNN, enlighten us.
저는 법화경을 읽어보지 않았습니다. 하지만 계시 오입이란 제가 생각하기에 제가 알기로는 우리는 탐진치로 많은 윤회를 하면서 그로 인해서 업으로 만들어진 벽에 갇혀 있는데 그 벽을 허물고 그 벽 외부를 바깥을 보는 것. 그러면 그 밖은 아무것도 없이 텅 비어서 이 세상이 이렇게 공하다는 것을 알고 깨달음의 길에 들어서는 게 계시 오입이라고 생각하고 있습니다.
Wow, this girl here likes the Dharma. It's cool. Translation.
Master, I haven't read the Lotus Sutra, but as far as I know, we have so much greed, anger, and stupidity. So we reincarnate, we turn on the wheel of incarnation, and we made the karma. So we made the world based on our karma. So we are stuck inside the world. So we destroy the world and look outside. Then the outside is empty, and we realize that world is empty, and we can enter the enlightenment.
So you empty, I'm empty. Jewel Mountain Temple is empty. Everything empty.
공하다는 의미는 아무것도 없다는 의미가 아니고 우리는 원래 아무것도 없는데 인연에 의해서 이루어지고 사라지고 이루어지고 사라지고 그게 반복되는 게 반복됨을 이야기합니다.
Empty doesn't mean that there's nothing at all.
That's what I said. Why do you use my words against me? Very good. Excellent. Anyone else? Alex, of course, has a theory.
Thank you, Master. You were asking whether, what sutta it was mentioned, the open, disclose, make, enlighten. When I was looking at it and thinking about an answer that I wasn't going to say, was that I thought it was like the Four Noble Truths. How is it different than that?
Thinking about what truth?
The Four Noble Truths.
The Four Noble Truths? Mm-hmm. Okay. Very good. Mm-hmm. Excellent. Anyone else? See, collective wisdom. You all have wisdom. I'm impressed. Okay? Just because you knew the Buddhism doesn't mean you don't understand. You see, that's a fallacy to think that, like I say, like my master disciples, I bet you ask them that, open, disclose, enlighten to, enter knowledge and wisdom of Buddha, they will not be able to answer you. Because why? Because they said, Master YongHua says so, it must be true. Buddha says so, it must be true. But for us, people, new students of Buddhism, of Mahayana, we ask questions because we want to know. We really are curious. Okay? So you better be prepared to answer such questions. Very good. I'm very pleased that you've been listening to the sutra and it's giving you clues. That's very good. Excellent. Okay? I'm impressed. Anyone else? It is so important, and I need you to be cognizant of that. Okay, and I need you to keep an open mind and be critical and ask questions instead of just accepting everything at face value. Okay? And that's what bothers me about the Chinese system, the Asian system, where they said, if Master YongHua says open, disclose, enlighten, and enter the Buddha's knowledge and vision, when I first read that explanation, I said, say what? What does it mean? And no one asked, no explanation of that. Now I was telling myself, I hope I don't ever have to explain that if someone asks the question. What it really means. And I kind of buried it in hoping that it would not surface. And tonight I decided to open a new can of worms and make life hard for everyone else. People like me who have to speak Dharma. Because we have to be prepared to answer all of your questions. What kind of Mahayana is if we cannot explain open, if we cannot explain disclosed, we cannot explain enlightened to, we cannot explain enter knowledge and vision, when there are the four critical, fundamentally critical, important things that the Buddha came to our world to do. Agree or disagree? What is the matter with you? Listening to these sutra lectures, and you say, oh, because Master says so, therefore it must be so. No, that's the wrong way to listen. You listen and you ask questions. You say, I don't get this. Please explain it to me. It's the wrong time to be polite. What's the matter with you? How can we help your children, the young people, the new people, if we are afraid to ask questions? If it's so important, isn't it fair that we need to have a clear understanding of what it is? Just in case someone asks us. Okay, if you don't ask, I don't have to answer this, right? I'm not going to make life hard for myself. So I give you half of the thing already. The problem is that no one dares ask a question. I teach you what questions to ask already, okay? I don't have to give answers, right? I have to give answers too? No, you go and ask the other monks and nuns. What does it mean? You're the Dharma masters. You are the one with seniority. You're the one who are enlightened. You're the one who have wisdom. You're the one who represent Hinayana. You're the one who represent Mahayana. What does it mean? You're the one who meditates. You're the one who does chant. You're the one who does huatou. You're supposed to have wisdom. If the Buddha does these four things that are so important in Mahayana, what are they? Why and why? No? You say, oh, Master says it's important, so therefore it's important, that's good. That's not how you're going to help Mahayana penetrate and help the people now and in the future, because they're going to ask us. Someday someone will ask us, what does it mean open? What's the difference between open and disclosed? I asked the very same questions I'm asking you right now. The first time I read about this, I could not find the answer. Doesn't it bother you? Yeah? 5.
I said now it does.
Now, yeah. Anyone else besides, the lady there? One person is bothered. And the rest of you, I don't know. I'm not going to give the Dharma Master a hard time. We're supposed to be polite. We're supposed to be faithful and loyal and sincere Buddhist disciples. Why give our teachers a hard time? I don't want you to be like that. I want you to give me a hard time. The worst could happen is, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with me telling you I don't know. I'm not supposed to know everything. I'm no Buddha. Do you look like a Buddha? Never mind. Don't answer that. Okay, so what is open? Open, like the word says. What does open mean? You open a can of worms. That's what it means. You open a can, a jar of peanut butter. Yes? What else you open? You open the door for a lady, don't you? Alex? You young people don't do it anymore. It's wrong. Now it's funny. Now the girl said, let me open the door for you. Because you equal, remember? I said, I yearn for the old times where girls would like it when you open the door for them. Now I said, really? I don't feel right when you open the door for me. I said, say what? Does it happen to you? Murali, oh, he doesn't date. Alex, oh, he's married. Married people don't open doors for their wives anymore, right? You open the door. You open a can of worms. Like what I'm doing right now. What for? Why do you open? It's so beautiful. Why? I don't know why people are not bothered by these words. They bother me. I'm a curious person. I said, why open? Why disclose? Why don't you call it close? Why don't you call it brainwash? But it's disclose. Huh? Anyone? So open. Is it clear? Do we see? It's very simple. You open because you want to make it available. Yes? You open the door to a lady because you say, yeah, dear, young lady, old lady, whatever, please, the car is now available to you. Does this ring a bell to you? Huh? It's available to you. Please enter if you wish. Yes? Open a can of peanut butter because you want to make it available. Can you imagine that they give you a can of peanut butter and they don't allow you to open? Right? It's just common sense. I don't get it. How come people don't think open is so profound? No! It's very simple. Make it available for you to choose to enter or not, to use it or not. But imagine, if you will, oh my God, I just made a mess. Sorry. I have to be more gentle. Sorry. Where was I again? Okay. You open meaning that you simply bring people's attention to it and offer it. Make it available. That's all it means. Agree or disagree? You profound scholars and you profound practitioners of Buddhism with deep wisdom and have been practicing and cultivating for decades and years or weeks, disagree with me. You telling me open is more profound than that. See, you're always expecting something profound. You don't understand. The profundity is in the simplicity. Is it clear? So, okay, you open. Open meaning you make it available. Are we in agreement right here? Again, no one is responding to me. Why do I bother making my own life difficult when no one really cares? Okay, I'm going to ignore you. Okay, I will speak to myself only. Thank you. Only one person loves me. So lonely. Okay. So you see, open is that, yes?
Master, so open make what available?
Open your mind. That's what it means. It's not open the door. I open the door is only an analogy for you to understand. Open is actually open your mind. I'm glad you asked. You didn't ask, I would gloss over it too. So that next person who asks says, no, you have not understood open yet. I only explained to you the shallow meaning of open. Open doors. Actually, open here is open your mind. You still want to ask me questions or no? If you don't ask me questions, I'm not going to tell you more.
Open the mind to what, Master?
Don't overdo it. Yeah, what was your question?
Open the mind to what?
To what? Oh, someone there asked me. Good Lord. I even have to tell you what to ask. Isn't that sad? What the world has become? Huh? Open to what? Yes, Morale. 4.
No, I can use the, okay. I was thinking along the same lines. So if Buddha is helping to open my mind, and he's going to disclose what is in there already, which is a lot of afflictions, and then maybe he's going to enlighten us to enter the knowledge that he has how to come out of it.
Very good. Open your mind to something that you overlooked your entire life. You don't dare look at. He says, look, here, it's here. Look at the car. Look at how barren this Tesla is and the kind of money you're paying for. I'm kidding. You understand? Open. Draw attention to it. Okay? Because you refuse to look at it. You neglect, you forget to look at it. You overlooked it. Same thing that everyone who studied Buddhism so far in the US overlooked the fact you're supposed to understand how to explain open, disclose, make enlightened to, and help enter the Buddha's knowledge and vision. Because people will ask you. They're supposed to ask you. Okay? So, yes, 5.
So, a question, Master, so is to open our mind and to disclose, but only to help us see the wisdom, or as well to see, like for example, I just realized that I criticize a lot, more than I
praise and
God.
give credit to, yes.
So when he helped us to open our mind for us to see, or for me to see those kind of things, or this one is just referring to the wisdom, or is wisdom already in it when you are able to see like, oh, I'm criticizing a lot and I wasn't aware, and now that I can see
You're going
it.
too fast. You have to slow down, okay? Hang on. I answer all those questions, okay? Pretty soon. GMT question.
그러면 마음의 문은 어떻게 열 수 있습니까?
사후순이 안 들립니다.
Open the door of our mind.
Excuse me?
How can you open the door of our mind?
He opened our doors. Okay? Like I'm opening your mind right now. How did I open? What did I open? I opened your door to the question you should be asking about. Open, disclose, and so forth. What does it mean? Open here, what did the Buddha open? What did he do to open our mind? He introduced, he pointed out to us, humanity, to his disciples, what they've been overlooking, they've been ignoring. They didn't dare look at. What don't people dare look at? Suffering. See, some of you alluded to the answer already, but but you lump them together, okay? Open here simply says, hey, don't look away. Look at yourself. You are suffering. You are afflicted. Yes or no? If you disagree or not, that's open. Is it clear? It's so fundamental. Open is that you have to look at this. You cannot ignore this. You ignore this will be a big loss to you. Is that clear? You cannot spend your entire life ignoring this because you will suffer because of it. You will not be happy. You will not have a good ending if you ignore this. Ignore the fact that you are suffering. You are running away from suffering. You don't dare look at suffering. Look! Here, you're suffering. And guess what? Many Westerners right now, how would they react, you think? We tell them, this is suffering, the Buddha says. Well, how would you react? Some of them would say, so? I'm busy. I have to make money. I have to go make money. Knowing about suffering is no big deal to me. Sounds familiar? Most of the people, you tell them, hey, can I open your mind to about suffering? They said, heck no, I'm too busy. Yes? I have to take care of my baby. I have to go home to my wife. I have to bring the dough home. You see that? So most people, when you open, they say, no, not for me. I don't buy into your sales pitch, okay? I'm a Catholic. Sounds familiar? What happened to Daniel nowadays? I don't see him anymore. Because I tried so hard. They said, Buddhism, you can be a Buddha, you can be as good as your God, or even better. And he says, no, I don't believe you. I want to be Christian. See? Not interested. Is that clear? So open is that, would you like to look? He says, no, I would rather ride in a red car, not your Nissan Sentra. Anyone had driven Nissan Sentra? Corolla, maybe? California, they drive Toyotas only. Okay, now it's Kia. Kia is becoming real popular. Anyway, you understand? That's why imagine if the Buddha says, here, let me give you enlightenment. They say, are you crazy? I don't want enlightenment. I want to go to be with my God. You understand? That's why you will go slow. Buddhas have wisdom. That's why he says, here, you believe or not. And I talk, by the way, people, okay, just in case, if you're curious. This week for lunch, I've been eating lunch here at WMT, okay? I finally called the professor over and said, come, sit closer. And then the professor says, you talking to me? I said, yeah, come. I said, okay. And he came. I said, I want to ask you a question. I want to open a temple branch in Europe. which country should I go to? And he says, I said, not Germany. Huh? Yeah. How about Spain? Second day, he said he went through a few countries, one too small, one is too Nazi, and so forth. And then the next day, I asked him, what about Spain? And this is a Spanish professor, okay? Okay, well, retired professor from Spain. And he says, nah, no good. Can you imagine a Spanish person, a Spanish intellectual, rejected his own kind? Now you understand why you first opened. You don't say, let me go to Spain. And I say, oh, are you crazy? You got it now? I would be looking like a fool. He said, what a fool of a guy. Why did I come here to the temple if he wants to go to Spain, but Spain is nothing there in Spain? Am I wrong? No? He still believes it. I rest my case. Why you want to open? You don't want to disclose. We agree. You see how clever the Buddha is. Isn't it beautiful how the Buddha teaches us, taught us? My senior monks are all sleeping, and I don't know. Master is finding problems where there's no problem whatsoever. No one in Mahayana students ever worry about these issues. Why is he talking about it? They're all falling asleep. But now they pretend to look up. You got that? You see why it's important to start with opening. Don't overdo it. Why am I telling you this? If you want to convert your family for any reason, open and then back off when you have a chance. Is it clear? It's for us as well. Don't disclose. Just open and see if they want to step into the car or not. Yeah, if they're gonna want, if they like peanut butter or not. Maybe they like jelly. Yuck. We understand each other? Alex, you agree? You know salesman, you don't understand how to sell. Anyway, let's open. Okay? And what do? Why do you only open? Because it's like a probe. Open the door and say, you like it or not? You don't like it? Whoop! Next one, I have another car. You don't like? Okay? That's what he's doing. He says, are you interested? Okay? And you disclose because he says, tell me more. Does it make sense now? That's why Buddhists are so wise. Unlike us, unlike those Christians and Catholics who try to convert me, he says, Jesus will save you. I say, so what? You don't know that I saved Jesus. You cannot save me. Did you know I saved Jesus? Never mind. Ask Jesus, he'll tell you. So funny. Jesus in Spanish means Jesus in English. Never mind. You guys are so serious. The Koreans are not even laughing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. We ignore the Koreans. Okay, you understand that? Yes, Alex. 2.
Thank you, Master. I have a question about opening and the levels of opening. Recently, I've been doing meditation, during thoughts, like I've been pushing myself to be more formless in my thinking. And for example, when I think about giving all the merit to all living beings instead of just the people that I want to be better, I think about how that's opening my mind to not think about myself or others. And so in today in America, when you are looking to learn about Buddhism, there's all these different people trying to tell you like, oh, I can give you the greatest opening. You know, I know the best opening, all these sales pitches. But when you're trying to talk to somebody else, where do you start?
Let them sell. We don't sell. We just open the door. They have to make the next move. They don't make the next move, we ignore them. You got that? Don't overdo it. We only open the can of peanut butter. Imagine you push a can of peanut butter in front of us. You open it and you push it in front of her. And how would she feel? How would your children feel? You know, yes, Daddy's so pushy. Daddy bought some peanut butter can and he pushes it in front of me after he opens it. And your son tells his buddies at school, oh, my daddy is very pushy. You understand? The open meaning is a probe only. They say, are you interested? Yeah, smell it. Okay? That's what I do. Okay? The Koreans, by the way, their butter has no fragrance whatsoever. No, I swear to God, I swear to you. I've been to Korea, and I smell all the butter. I'm very curious. And they don't smell nothing. So I was curious. And since I didn't trust my disciples, I went to the supermarket. I looked at all the Korean butters in the shelves. And I sniffed. So you see me walking around sniffing butter in Korea. And guess what? No smell whatsoever. So I was not convinced. So when the Koreans, my Korean disciples, visitors came here, I gave them some nice German butter, not American. American is the same thing. Nothing, okay? It would be so gross. So I gave them some German butter. And you sniff it and say, Chanel number 64. You know what I mean? Okay? And guess what? I said, would you like to try this butter? You know what the Korean said? No, thank you. It smells. They don't like when it smells. You got it? That's why you wait. You open and say, they don't like it, okay, and then you move on. You don't impose it upon them. That's why you only open. You only disclose when they show interest. And they say, oh, that smells nice. I say, oh, you like? Okay, it's from Germany. From France. Because Europeans, the butter has to be fragrant. Yes or no? Spaniard. You don't know. He's from Spain. He doesn't know anything. You understand the difference now between open and disclosing? Why there's a delineation? You open, you don't overdo it, Alex. You remember that? You open and you don't do anything else. They have the ball's in their court. They have to do something before we react. Got it? Too much thinking, by the way. Think too much, still too much thinking. Question from JMT.
그 계시 오입에서 두 번째가 볼시인데 마음을 열고 하는 게 아니라 그러니까 다시 상승 다시요. 계시 오입의 두 번째가 볼시면 눈을 열어야 되는 거 아닌가요? 그것이 질문입니다.
The second thing is to disclose. So to disclose, do we have to open our eyes?
Open your eyes. to disclose? No, you can close your eyes. Okay? Open people's mind. Are you receptive to this? You see that? You've been ignoring this thing called suffering. Are you interested? You say, no, I'm busy. No, I'm not. It's too Chinese. It's too Asian. Okay? I'm hungry now. So when there's the fish bites, that's when you disclose. You understand? What's the disclosure? For example, the Buddha says, actually, the suffering there is also accumulation. Suffering has many layers. It builds on top of each other. The suffering adds to the suffering, adds to suffering, adds to suffering. That's called accumulation. That's disclosure. That's all. Then he stops. See that? He stops. It's very clever. See, you understand step by step. Okay? Number 1, you do this. Number 2, you do that. Number 3, you do that. And if there's interest, you do more and more and more and more. That's disclosure. You don't overwhelm people. One step at a time. Okay? Disclose a bit more. Disclose a bit more. Disclose a little bit more. Not just accumulation. It's more beyond accumulation. And so forth, and so forth. See how clever, how wise the Buddha is in teaching people. It's beautiful. We're talking about the Buddha doing it, not us. Okay? You're not impressed. I spend an hour talking to you about the 4 things, and you're not impressed. Okay, I just disclose, I stop. You're not interested? I will not go further. Moving on, 302, number 4. You see? You disclose bit by bit. Anyone interested in, for me, to continue? Now I have to finish it. You see? So disclosure is again thing. The nature of suffering is that it has layers. Okay? And I say, really? So, for example, if you're stressed out, actually stress has many layers. It's from your wife, it's from your children, it's from your boss. Sounds familiar? Yes? From me? My disciples said, my stress is nothing compared to the stress you put upon us. I said, true, touché, guilty as charged. Okay, you see that? And then he said, and to such disciples, I don't know if they're here tonight. Anyone here tonight? Would you like me to answer how to address it? Because they are your disciples in the future. Will do the same thing to you. They said, I've never been this stressed out before in my entire life until I shaved my head. Warning to all of you. Okay? So I said, So, what do you want to do about it? I stretch you out. So what do you want to do about it? You know that when you blame me, you simply are being content with being a victim, like you are your entire life, aren't you? That's more disclosure. You see that? All of a sudden, it's a simple thing like, hey, I'm talking about stress, and he's disclosing to me that actually I've been more. It's not just stress. I have been living my life as a victim of life. Wow. This monkey has wisdom. You got that? Huh? Isn't that beautiful? How you disclose. Why? Because that's what you're interested in finding out. I will tell you. Whatever your interest is, I will show him. Go in that direction. Okay? And that's disclosed. Do we understand? Is it clear for you now how clever it is? Why the Buddha has explained Agama, then he explained Vaipulya, and then when you're more interested, he explained then the Prajna, yes, Dharma. Agama is Hinayana, Vaipulya is between. Prajna is Bodhisattva, and then Dharma flower, which is ultimate. Is it clear? The Buddha, that's what Buddha did, disclose bit by bit, depending on your interest and your capacity. That's called disclosure. Yes, go forth.
Master, you mentioned that to disclose, we should be doing this step by step, but at what point do we know we have enough wisdom to disclose?
You have to open your wisdom first. I'm merely pointing out to you the great wisdom of the Buddha, how he disclosed to us. Okay? And that's why you need to keep in mind when you talk to people, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's worldly things, you need to also go to the same process. You open and you disclose bit by bit. Why? Because that's all people can take. You can overwhelm them with information. That's the lesson, today's lesson. Is that clear? You learn it from the master at this. He's mastered how to disclose. And that's what you're learning as we explain sutra, or you learn more, you see how beautiful he discloses things. How Qingliang, great master Qingliang, disclosed things. How the sixth patriarch discloses things. How Master Shoa discloses things. It's wisdom. Okay? It requires wisdom to know how to do it right. It's beautiful. Okay? That's disclosing. You only disclose because in order to satisfy the curiosity, the need. Not because of you. You see, most monks and nuns, most teachers, they try to stand up there and they try to tell you how much they know. That's wrong. That's not disclosing. It's called self-advertising. Disclose is, you, like the Buddha, disclose only what interests you, what's good for you. Do we understand each other? This is life, folks. This is what differentiates you from the next person. How you disclose things to help others, not to help yourself. Buddha has no interest in helping himself. We agree on that. Yes, 3.
From Jane, the smell of butter is mostly from the feedstock of the cows eat. Summertime, the milk from his farm has a strong fragrance from the fresh grass or hay. My farmer friend said the U.S. consumers don't like the grassy fragrance of the milk. He used to be very apologetic when serving the fragrant milk to me in the summertime. I used to bale the hay for him and other farmers.
Yeah. So you nuke it so that you kill all the flavors. There are ways to deal with it. You serve them Korean butter. Okay? Or sterile goat's milk. Anyway, thank you for your contribution, your disclosure. Okay, so far so good? See how beautiful, disclose. And I want you to appreciate this because it will make you a better person at home, at work. Only disclose at the right time the proper amount. Don't overdo it. Okay? How about enlighten? Make enlighten too. Make enlighten too means that, anyone? Isn't that amazing that you Buddhists, so many Buddhists study this? They say, I am a specialist in Lotus Sutra. I recite it every day. You know, so many Asians do that. You know that? You want to have a nice temple, you recite Lotus Sutra. As a monk and nun, every day. An hour a day, 2 hours a day, you will get a lot of offerings to have a nice temple. Don't have to go and bow to the gods of wealth and so forth. You simply recite the Lotus Sutra. That's how wonderful it is. Okay? But so all these people, all the Asians, all the monks and nuns, Sunnis and so forth, they've been doing that. They get a lot of responses. They got a lot of money, a lot of support. And no one understands what's open, disclosed, make enlightened to, and enter the knowledge and vision. How sad it is. Okay? But we're going to be different. Your generation will be different from mine. Mine, we just, if the teacher says so, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to ask. So far, so good. Make enlightened too. Make enlightened too. Is that, number 5?
To understand, you at the beginning you say open to, so, so the make it available, and then as is being disclosed.
Yeah.
And then you come into enlightened to actually be able to understand it deeply, is it? No? Yeah.
Disclose that you can become enlightened. That's one of the latter phases of disclosure. You can be enlightened. Why aren't you? We understand each other. I'm looking at you. You can be enlightened. All of you. I'm pointing the finger. You can become enlightened. Okay? That's one of the disclosures he will do. And then he make enlightened too. What does it mean? It means that now, if you really believe that you can become enlightened, guess what happens? Buddha's in trouble. He says, I better deliver. That's why he says, the English is much better than Chinese. Chinese only says Wu. Okay? So the English translation is very good, by the way. This is one of the strengths, one of the things that they do right, they did right at my master's temples. Make enlightened to is correct. That's why I kept it. The Chinese only says enlighten. Okay? Actually, it's make enlightened to. Make enter the knowledge and vision of the Buddha. That is very good. The make here is excellent. It's excellent. I like it. Kudos to them. Kudos to my master's side. I like. One of the few things I like. Okay? Make enlightened to means that. Make is what? What does make mean? How do you make someone enlightened?
Just for clarification, so it's basically to step into.
5. Okay. Make means that you make it happen. In English, in American culture, you make it happen. Don't talk. You do it. See? Open is talk. Disclose is talk. Make enlightenment is what? Now you have to do it. Isn't it beautiful? Buddha had to do something to make us become enlightened. Is it clear? That's what differentiates the boys from the men. The boys only talk. The men make you enlightened too. So, boys and girls, be humble. I let you teach because I only let you disclose right now, but you cannot make enlightened yet. Know your limitations. You're not there yet. But the Buddha says, I can make you become enlightened too. I know how. When I was young, I was reading these illustrated stories in French. Lucky Luck. Anyone? Any French people out there? No? They draw these stories in drawings because, then you read fewer words. Okay, you got that? So you have this drawing of this Lucky Luke where he's a cowboy. He walks around, okay, and then he saves people and he does these good things like in the movies here in the West. And then after he's done, he walks into the sunset. And that's the storyline. He walks around, he does his good things, he got in trouble, and he got out of trouble, and he finished his good deed, and then he walks into, he rode into the sunset away. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. It really made an impression on me, okay? Like that's what you're supposed to do with your life. Early influence from the French, okay, for me. And then, I still remember this part where Lucky Luke had to deal with what? Guess who? Indians. Okay? So the cowboys are the talker than the shooters. All right? And the Indians are what they call. What's the difference between the cowboys and the Indians? This is important, folks. This is culture, okay? American and French culture, okay? Indians they call cowboys, and Indians are called brave. It's beautiful. You like it? They're brave, they're fearless. The cowboys are the ones who are shooting and getting the upper hand and everything, getting what they want. But the Indians who are losing, but they are the braves. Got that? We're losers, but we're braves. In other words. You got that? It's so cool. You don't like it. God, you insist on winning. I love losing and be brave. No? You guys win, I lose, but I be a brave. Okay? And why did I bring up this thing here? Because the brave says, when the cowboy says, "Tell me, where is your chief?" Point a gun at the brave. And the brave puts his hand together and says, "Me no talk." That's the only English the Indians know how to. No, me no talk. Okay? You cannot make me do it. Me no talk. Okay? So make enlightened too requires wisdom to help you become enlightened, guide you to become enlightened. That's what make enlightened too. Give you instructions to become enlightened. Is it clear? That's why I ask all of you, you have this aspiration, you want to save the world and so forth. Okay? I'm telling you, there's different degrees of saving. There's people who save the world by talking and talking and talking, like professors, like, and so forth. They talk. Okay? And the braves who says, me no talk. I do. I may no talk. Got that? You do. You make it happen. So that's what the Buddha says. Make enlightened to is that whatever he does is geared towards helping you become enlightened. That's what make enlightened is that he has to help you become enlightened. Don't be so full of yourself. If you're so full of yourself and say, I can figure it out, good luck. We need the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas' help to make us enlightened. Don't tell the Koreans. You like? Now Master Z is back. I can tell him more secrets. You like? Huh? You like? Make enlightenment is you take the bull by the horn. You make it happen. You think we become enlightened because of us? No, folks. It's because the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas are pushing us. Hey, move. This way, that way, this way, that way. Stop. Don't be so full of yourself. It's not good for you. We need help more than you realize. Not only do they make it happen, we don't even know they're making it happen until tonight I'm revealing to you. Not impressed? Okay, I don't care. So that's make enlightened too. So far, so good? Okay? But enlightenment is what? It's simply, I am demystifying enlightenment for you. Enlightenment simply, what is enlightenment? It's wisdom. What is wisdom? Is that you can be taught. Wisdom has two sides. The Chinese has wisdom as you can look at your faults. Correct. But from the teacher perspective, what is wisdom? You can be taught. You can be guided. You can be. Until then, you can't. You can only talk. You can only open, you can disclose. You can't push them. Got that? Isn't it beautiful? I'm revealing all the Buddhist secrets and you're not totally unimpressed. You're, I don't know, Master is, clowning around again. God, you're so ungrateful. So, make enlightened too. But what happened is that when you become enlightened, it's only the beginning. You need to enter the knowledge and vision of the Buddha. It's a lot more than you think about enlightenment. Shh, don't tell anyone. And now this is when Peter is supposed to say, we have a subscription service. If you sign up right now, 20% off. Okay, so there's also enlightened too is still not complete. So that's why the ultimate enlightenment is the Buddha's enlightenment, and that's why he says, even after you become enlightened, I still need to guide you. Shh. I know some of you are enlightened already. Say, ooh, more enlightened. I made it. No! You still need guidance to make you enter the knowledge and vision. It's still a make. You see, that's why it's so beautiful. I like this. I like it. I like it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's not clear in the Chinese, but it's so clear in English. It's a stroke of genius, folks. We know more than the Chinese. Because it's the Buddha make us enter the knowledge and vision of Buddhas. You think you can figure it out? You can't, let me tell you. Even after you become enlightened, you still can't. It feels so good to release all these frustrations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah! You're so special. You see what I mean? Then you would listen, you sit through this, and no one fell asleep. Yeah, so cool. The 4 things, the big things the Buddha do, and no one really understands. No one dare discuss it. It's a hand in the back quickly, because I have to go. I don't want to overdo it. I want to quit while I'm still ahead, when you're still warm and excited.
Master, at what level that one can enter the Buddha knowledge and vision?
I don't know. You think I want to review everything for you? It's a paying session. Thank you, everyone. You guys are fun. It hurts so much.